Hello, hello. How you doing today, y'all? You are live with Lonzo, the Grand Master of the World Class Wrecking Crew and the hip hop, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, y'all. Forgot my title. It's that damn fast. All right, y'all. This is Wednesday. We doing it like this every Wednesday, y'all. We are live at Morris Media Studios, live right here in beautiful Lamert Park. To my left, I have the hip hop attorney. We call him Dakar, the hip hop attorney. What's up with you, Doc?
Yes, sir. Not much, man. You know, happy we got a new topic lined up today. I think it'll be as exciting as some of our past topics. So,
this show is brought to you by The Lick, the publisher of my book, NWA, Not Without Alonzo, y'all. Available on my website, alonzowilliams.com. Also available at CreateSpace and Amazon and Kindle. All the usual suspects. It goes down like 4 flat tires, y'all. We got a hot show today, y'all. We talking about one of them subjects that everybody like to talk about. We talking about sex and sex crimes. Boy, I'm going to let you kick it off today because you're the attorney. You can tell me about the sex crime. Number one sex crime that's been committed. And I don't know if he's going to get charged with it or not. Talk about it right quick.
well, I don't know if it's the number one sex crime that's committed out there. There's a lot of different types of crimes that fall into the general category of sex crimes. And we're going to talk about a number of different sex crimes. And we're going to talk about music, as we always do, sex crimes and music and television, and also talk about a current event. I have to ask you, because this is something that just came up this week, you have the actor Charlie Sheen.
With his nasty
in the
ass.
Who came out, I think it was just 2 days ago. Today's Wednesday, November 18th.
Monday,
I think it was Monday
yeah.
that it hit the mainstream media, even though I did hear one report that the National Enquirer reported on it a couple of days before.
Okay.
But he did an interview, and since that time, there's been interviews with at least one of his girlfriends. I think Brie Olson, and I also hear there's a lawsuit. This is all in regard to the fact that he's HIV positive.
Yeah.
He made that announcement public this week, and there's an allegation that he may have been having sex with Brie Olson and maybe some other women while he was HIV infected, but did not tell them that he was HIV infected.
Now,
and if that's true, that is a crime under the law.
Now, the cold part about it is, like you said, the crime is, it ain't the crime of having sex with him. The crime is not telling them.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and I was doing some research, trying to figure out exactly what crime is being committed there. And I found a couple of news stories. People have been prosecuted around the country for doing exactly what he's accused of doing. So I found a case out of San Diego from earlier this year where a guy was prosecuted, but he was only charged and convicted of a misdemeanor for intentionally having sex with somebody while he's HIV infected and didn't tell that person. Now, how is that a misdemeanor? I don't know. But he was charged with a misdemeanor. He pled guilty to it. And but then there's a case out of I believe it's out of Milwaukee or Minnesota that I found as well, where a guy accused of doing the same thing either earlier this year or last year was charged with a felony. If you're HIV positive and you have sex with someone intentionally and do not reveal to that person that you're HIV positive, to me that feels like attempted murder. So how can it be a misdemeanor? I don't get it. I know one principle in the law.
Were they white?
The guy in San Diego appeared to be Latino. Okay. And the guy in the Midwest, I believe, was he may have been biracial. Looking at him on video, I couldn't really tell.
Biracial or bisexual, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, one principle in the law, and one reason why they're probably not charging it as a attempted murder, is that I think generally for murder, you have whatever action you commit against a person, they have to die within 365 days in order for you to be charged with murder. So, for example, a few weeks ago, I told you a story about, and this is a Los Angeles story, where I got a call from a woman who was looking for an attorney to represent her boyfriend. Her and her boyfriend were walking down the street in Koreatown, I believe on Alvarado Boulevard, pushing the baby stroller. A guy on the sidewalk said something offensive to her. Her boyfriend turned around, confronted the guy, punched the guy. The guy fell, hit his head on the sidewalk. He died some days later in the hospital. Now, they charged him with felony murder. If that guy would have lived 366 days and then died, they would not have been able to charge him with felony murder because he didn't die within 365 days of the act.
Wow.
So that might be the case with HIV, because even though people are intentionally, having sex and trying to spread it, I think the the thinking is, well, nobody's going to die within 365 days, so we're not therefore going to charge it as an attempted murder. We'll charge it as something else. So for murder, attempted murder, I think, or for murder in general, I think the general idea is that that person has to be able to die or have to have actually died within 365 days.
Wait. So wait a minute. So it sounds like to me, if you what you're saying is, if somebody gives you a slow acting drug, that's what I'm saying. A disease and a drug is the same thing. If somebody gives you a slow acting drug that takes a year for you to act, and you may get sick as a dog for the 300 from the day one to the 365th day, but on the 366th day, you can't be convicted of murder.
That's true. And that's a general principle in the law. Let me tell you something I remember my criminal law professor told our class when I had criminal law as a law student. She said that it's common for prosecutors to approach the family of a victim of a crime who's been hospitalized and basically a vegetable that's, on breathing machines, so on and so forth, really no chance of recovery, and ask the family, as that 365th date is approaching, would you be interested in pulling the plug on him? Because if he's not going to recover, he was injured by somebody who attempted to harm him, he needs to, or she needs to die within 365 days in order for that person to be charged with murder. So they actually do that. And I think families will commonly agree, because they want the most severe punishment for the person that, caused the injury, that they will often agree to pull the plug on the victim so that the victim will die within 365 days. That's deep. Allow the prosecutor to then pursue a murder charge.
Let's talk about Charlie Sheen's nasty ass. Okay? Now, I love Charlie Sheen. I've been on 2.5 Men. I swear, that's one of my favorite shows. I mean, Charlie is like a Morris Day almost on steroids. He got the mansion on the beach, beach house, and blah blah blah. But he walking around wearing bowling shirts and flipping them ugly ass shoes. But he got a pile of money. He don't care about much of anything. He living large. He's paid, but he's cool. We take care of his brother. This is his character on 2.5 Men. Okay. Now, when I see him in real life, he's almost that character in real life. Okay. And he does.
Have you ever met him?
No, I would love to meet him. I've been following Charlie Sheen's career since he was in that movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay. He was in the last little scene with the sister, and he always seemed like Alonzo kind of guy. Kind of guy that you can hang out with and go do some dumb stuff with and laugh about it later on. But whatever he did, okay, whatever he's been doing, is catching up with him, okay, on multiple levels. Karma. As you see him, he's aging. I don't think he's 50 yet, is he?
Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
I will Google.
I don't think
and
he's 50
out.
yet. He might, if he is, he just turned 50. Because I remember saying something. I was like, damn, he look old to be that age. Okay. What is it?
I'm saying 50 years old. It looked like his birthday was September 3rd, 1965.
He just turned 50.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. When I remember he was 49 years old, obviously. And when I saw it was a report about him doing something. I saw him, I'm like, damn, he looks old. I mean, because he looked good on 2.5 Men. But I noticed he just started looking like he aged a lot, and alcohol will do that to you. Okay, and I heard he's a heavy drinker, blah blah blah. But HIV and the stress of having HIV will probably make you age a lot faster. But that just goes to show you, man. Whatever, all the glitters ain't gold. He's living with 2 or 3 women at a time. He loves his hookers. You don't know where he might have paid for that. You know what I'm saying? He might have got that from somebody he paid for. She finna go out of business. I got to get all the customers I can get. Charlie, I got something for you. Okay, take this with you. That's cold, man. That's a cold game.
Well, I know you're a non-lawyer, but you got a tremendous amount of life experience. Your gut instinct. What do you think? At what level should somebody be charged at, in your opinion, for having sex with somebody while they know themselves to be HIV positive and not informing their partner or whoever they're having sex with that they are HIV positive? What does that feel like to you? Does that feel like an attempted murder? Does that just feel like?
Ho. I wouldn't kiss a woman with a cold. Okay, back in the day, if you had a cold or the flu, come see me when you dry up. Okay, I can't afford to get sick of no type. Okay, I'm self-employed, so when you are purposely doing that, that's a malicious act. And sometimes people have been known to be on Facebook, women that slept with multiple men, and to get back at life. Just, hey man, I got it. If it happened to me, I'm gonna give it to you because I'm miserable and misery love company. So when you see situations like that, a malicious infection, 365 days.
Yeah, I don't see how it cannot be malicious. Everybody understands how dangerous HIV is. So if you're exposing somebody to it without telling them,
understand.
Obviously, you don't have good intentions for that person.
Understand, people tell you lies. Okay, you only may be infected. You may be contagious in certain situations. Okay. You may not be contagious if you don't have
only between 3 and 7 p.m.
Okay, only on Thursdays after 4 o'clock. Okay, so if especially women, women, they may feel for somebody. Hey, I love you so much. I got this stuff, but I can't. I'm not to tell you because it's gonna hurt you to know I got this. I'm gonna keep on sleeping with you because I know you like it what I'm doing to you. And you kind of get that that sympathy thing to a certain degree. But when you out there just knocking folks off because you just mad at the world, that's a whole different situation. You should tell somebody, but still, based on the malice, I think the malice would give you the more of a hardcore intent.
Yeah. This whole idea that, since I've been infected and I'm going to go and I'm going to try to take as many people with me, that is one of the most callous,
that's right,
selfish, and it's a lot of other things. I can't sympathize with that person at all.
Right.
That person that says, well, I didn't ask for it. It happened to me. So since I'm going down, I'm going to try to drag down the whole human race. Or as many people that I can.
Some guy gave it to me. I'm gonna give it to the rest of the guys. Okay.
Right, so, and I think that person should be locked up. And the key should be thrown away.
They should be locked up.
The key should be thrown away.
Well, like him in a room by themselves and then put the key away. Okay. But again, when you talk to people, when you know people who've been living with HIV, they tell you, oh, it's not it's not what it used to. It's not the perception that it used to be. It doesn't automatically turn into AIDS. Okay, Magic had HIV, and according to his last few doctor's reports that was published, he's HIV free.
Yeah.
There's no, according to his health reports, I've seen several different reports. There is no trace of HIV. His blood cells are normal.
Well, that's the thing in biology, and I know this because I've taken microbiology and a few other biology classes as a health science major. A virus, any virus,
You're a smart dude.
I'm okay.
A lawyer and a science major?
When I was younger.
Man, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even cut the frog in high school. Man, the day they cut the frog, I did school. I'm out of here.
Well, let me tell you what they teach in microbiology. That any virus that you become infected with, that virus will always be in your system. Always. Oh. The only thing you can do is suppress the virus and make the symptoms go away.
Okay.
Any viral infection. Now, bacterial infections like syphilis, gonorrhea are different. Mm-hmm. Those can actually be eradicated from the body. Okay. So they can be removed completely. But common cold viruses, herpes, HIV, and any other virus, if you become infected, will be with you to your last day. The only question is, will it be suppressed or will it be active and symptoms manifest? So the idea that, because I've heard other people say that too, that Magic Johnson is HIV free, I don't see how that's possible biologically unless he's been cloned. and now what we're seeing is a HIV free clone of Magic Johnson. But I don't see how that, and maybe, somebody's figured out a way to remove the virus completely from your system. But that's not what was being taught in microbiology when I was studying it.
Well, you know what? We're going to figure out all this right here. When we come back, we're talking about HIV, Charlie Sheen, and all the sex crimes that can be committed, and folks don't even understand. If I'd have known what I was doing back in the day, I wouldn't have did what I did. So I'm glad you're here today, because, boy, back in the day, the Wrecking Crew days, it was going down. But anyway, folks, we'll be right back. You are live with Alonzo, the world-class grandmaster, and Dakar, the hip-hop attorney, live at Morris Media Live, y'all. Be right back.
It's absolutely free for anyone to go and get HIV tested. It took 20 minutes.
The test is free for everyone, not just the people who sleep with Charlie Sheen.
Okay, so that was a clip of Howard Stern's ex-girlfriend, Bree Olson.
No, Charlie Sheen's ex-girlfriend.
Right. That's what I said.
You said Howard Stern's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's ex-girlfriend on Howard Stern's show.
Right, there you go.
Okay, my bad. Yes. Bree Olson. And
she fine. She fine. Every day. Oh, no, every day ain't going to work. No. But every day, Charlie, that's why you ass is wore out. That's why you look like you look, okay? You need to rest, dude. It's called R-E-S-T, rest.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I got to admit, I'm a little bit surprised. I understand he has a lot of fans, but I'm surprised how many people are coming out to defend him early on. You know what I mean? I mean, most people that get accused of intentionally spreading HIV are going to be vilified. But most people that are commenting on this that I've seen online, and I was doing research on it last night, are actually defending him. I'm like,
you know what? Charlie's a likable dude, man. It's for some reason, his antics don't really upset people.
Yeah. And I understand innocent to proven guilty, so
that's true too. I mean, Charlie's always been a straight shooter. Even when he did his dumb stuff, he was always, he's always a straight shooter, cool cat. So he has a lot of people that support him, regardless. As some folks say, irregardless.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You know what? This is our 6th taping of the Not Without Alonzo show.
Yeah,
I mean, this is going really well. I'm still getting a lot of very positive feedback from people who've seen the show. They are excited about the content, the personalities. Just to recap, when we did show 1, it was an introduction. We came back, show 2, we did domestic violence. Show 3 was pimping, which was a really fun topic. Show number 4 was rethinking no snitching. Number 5 was we were advising people to stop documenting their crimes in social media.
Right.
And here we are, show number 6, talking about sex crimes, which encompass a lot of different types of crimes. Because when you think about sex crimes, the things that come to mind for me instantly are things like rape, sexual battery, which is something you talked about before. I think it was in episode 2 you talked about, being a kid growing up in public school, you popped the bra strap.
The bra strap.
Back in your day and my day,
you slap a girl in the butt. Nobody tripped her.
Exactly.
That girl alone, boy, go in the class.
Right. It was just considered flirting and playing around.
Yeah, now they
but nowadays, nowadays you have kids in the schools minors being arrested and catching criminal charges and being charged with the most common charge for something like that, popping a bra strap or maybe grabbing a girl on the butt would be sexual battery.
In so many ways, man, I think kids are being robbed of their childhood, dude, because
they're being robbed of their...
You can't even hold hands in school no more. I tell you, my son was playing with one of his buddies, had him in a headlock, and I get a phone call from the school. I'm like, what'd he do? He said, well, he had a guy in a headlock. I said, headlock? Were they fighting? He said, no, they were just playing. I said, why is he in the principal's office? Well, we have a no touching policy. I say, no touching? It's no physical contact whatsoever, no holding hands, no kissing, no roughhousing. You can't hold nobody's hand in school. I mean, I don't know about you, but at junior high school, I was a hand holding,
What kind of human being is that going to create if they don't allow children to socialize with each other and touch each other? Because as a human being, you have a need for physical contact with other humans. Yeah. So if you can't get it with your classmates and your friends, whether it's high-fiving somebody or tackling somebody, wrestling, you are missing that intimate contact that human beings actually have a psychological need for and an emotional need for. Man. So what kind of human being is going to be produced?
At my house, we touchy-feely. We always give my son a hug, my daughter a hug, give my daughter a kiss. So, I understand at school certain things may have to be eliminated, but so much stuff is done to protect, to make things politically correct, because if it's going to be a problem for the LBGT community to hold hands, and it's got to be a problem for the straight kids to hold hands, so nobody hold hands. And these are the kind of issues that we're dealing with, so that's why you have what you have.
Yeah, it's kind of an overreaction to certain situations that come up. But hey, listen, when we started planning this topic last week,
right,
and I started doing some brainstorming, one of the themes that we've attempted to develop, and we are developing in this show, is how, the media that we're exposed to can adversely impact and affect our behavior, and particularly the behavior of our young people. So hip hop, television, rock and roll, movies. I think about, growing up as a kid, one of the shows that we watched in the house often, I'm sure you've seen it before, it was in syndication, but I don't think it airs anymore, at least not on any of the networks I have. You ever seen the Benny Hill Show?
Yeah, it's a Benny Hill Show.
Benny Hill Show was,
Benny Hill was a nasty old man. Benny Hill was nasty. Benny Hill, he would do things with his eyes. His eye. Go ahead, you can play the clip. Benny Hill's eyes were so like, he would do facial expressions. He was up to no damn good.
And it's not at the best. It's not at the best at all. No.
Where you at?
But I think that Sid Tidworth here will pick up a point or two. Here he comes now.
There you go.
Okay. See, the Benny Hill Show, it was a hilarious show. But similar to the point we made with the Honeymooners is that it desensitizes people to certain actions. In the Honeymooners, it was desensitization of domestic violence. Right. And in the case of Benny Hill, and I'm not pointing a finger at Benny Hill or anybody involved in the show, other than to say that show was very sexual. And there was a lot of cleavage and buttocks shown, and they were grabbing women's private parts in virtually every episode, and it was funny. And the audience laughed, and you laughed at home. And then what do you do when you get to school? You grab. Because it's acceptable, and nobody is, frowning on it.
It's the same thing with Three Stooges. We did all kind of Three Stooges, Three Stooges little moves because we saw it, and we, life imitating art. Okay,
yes.
But somebody say a song we should have got, man, because I thought about this on the way over here. We should have grabbed that song. Was it "Ain't No Fun the Homies Don't Have None"? Who was that? Nate Dogg? Was that Nate Dogg?
Well, Nate sang on it. It was Snoop rapping, Corrupt on it.
Yeah. Ain't
I
no
think
fun.
Dad's rapped on it.
Because I thought about that, man. I thought about that, and I'm gonna tell on myself because if I throw somebody else under the bus, I'm gonna crawl in there with you and get tracks on my ass too, because I ain't that kind of cat. But I remember back in the day, man, we used to do some. We had real. How can I say this? Generous groupies. Okay, in the Wrecking Crew days.
What is it called?
We had what I call generous groupies.
Oh, generous groupies.
Generous groupies.
Okay.
And they liked the Wrecking. A couple of them just liked the Wrecking Crew. And I remember having situations that was voluntary situations, but again, in today's climate, okay, based on the fact that sex comes with a return policy now, it could have been a form of rape, okay. What at midnight is voluntary, 7 o'clock in the morning turns into rape, okay. And it has happened not only to me but to other people that I know, guys that I've known, okay, is that I know people who are actually defending cases like this. After a party, everybody hook up, have a good time. All of a sudden, somebody says, "Hey, I was raped." What? Wait, how was you raped? How was you raped? And it was all smiles and giggles. How the hell you raped? You
were an active participant.
You
cool.
were
the aggressor.
You
initiated it.
You wanted to wear my jacket, okay? So
yeah, well, and that brings up something else that I hope we get a chance to talk about, and that's the role that alcohol and drugs play in a lot of these rape cases, because there's a lot of cases. It happens. It's very prevalent on college campuses. You hear these stories taking place at frat houses, and and girls hanging out with football players, where they'll party and they drink and they get drunk, and it turns sexual, and the next morning is I didn't agree to do what was done last night, and the girl may have had sex with multiple guys, but under the influence of alcohol, there's an allegation, that depending on how incapacitated the young woman is or the person is, the idea is that once you reach a certain level of drunkenness or a certain level of being high, a certain level of being incapacitated, you cannot consent to anything, including an act of sex. So if you have a beer, that's not going to make you drunk. You can still engage in an act of sex consensually. But if you take 20 shots of tequila and you're drunk to the point that you can't even remember what's going on, and then the question is, can you then voluntarily or consensually engage in sex with another person?
Well, let's not use excessive amount of 20 shots of tequila. Okay.
10 shots.
Okay. No, that's 18. Let's just say 4. 4 will get you toe up. If you're drinking the right stuff, 4 will get you real loving. Okay.
If you have low tolerance, if you're small,
if you have low tolerance, the cap will get you loaded. Okay. But that right there, me and my partner was having a debate just yesterday about the Bill Cosby case. Okay. Another sexual case. And most people who are speaking out on the situation were not really around and sexually active in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. I was. Okay? I was busy in the 70s and 80s. I was a young man, 21, 22 years old. And I remember I had just got into the record business. And again, I'm not going to throw nobody under the bus without crawling under the bus with him. Okay? But back in the day, certain things like cocaine and Quaaludes was the 80s. Okay? Mm-hmm. That was the 80s. Is
there an allegation that Bill Cosby used Quaaludes?
The
allegation is he used something to sedate the women, but was it Quaaludes or
it wasn't even so much it wasn't so much you had to give somebody the drug to get high. It was more like just the opposite. If you got these drugs, you can get laid, okay? Because
yeah.
It was like, hey, in certain situations, cocaine was a calling card. Okay, I'm not going to.
So in other words, if women knew that you had the drugs, they would want to party with you.
They want to
and
party.
The understanding is that we are going to hang out, drink, get high, and have sex.
I'm not going to sit there and tell you none of this stuff is good to do, even though some of it I have done. Okay, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and be an advocate. Yo, try no. Do not try this at home. I already did. It wasn't all that. But okay, back in the day, if you ever see Wolf of Wall Street, the movie Wolf of Wall Street with DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wolf on Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio. Seen it. Great movie.
Great movie. The whole movie was about sex and drugs.
Quaaludes.
Okay? Quaaludes and cocaine. Okay. Back in the day, when they were still 4-finger dimes, 2-finger nickels on weed, okay, these drugs were the party drugs of that era. Cocaine was considered the champagne drug. You had to have money to have cocaine. Cocaine was considered, only the ballers had it, okay? And if you walked in there with a little bit of that right there, you was considered a baller. It's like wearing a nice pinky ring to some women because, you must have money. You got some of this right here. Okay, and I'm not saying it made you do it. It just assisted the process. Okay, and again, those were the standards of the 80s, not the new millennium. Okay, I'm not saying it's okay to get somebody drugged, but again, we had different standards at different times. Mm-hmm. So to retroactively apply 2015 standards to 1980 something, I don't know. I don't know if that's really fair or not.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Let me tell you about a few cases that I've seen come up here in Southern California that I've had the opportunity to work on. I haven't done a lot of sex crime cases. My experience
I'm going to cut you off.
Has been limited.
You got to call him, man.
Okay.
Must be one of the Bills people. Hello. You're live with Lonzo and the hip hop attorney.
Who is this?
This is Lonzo.
Is this Mr. Williams?
Yes, it is.
Well, you can't guess who this is.
This is Craig Schlesinger from Skate Lane. That's who this is.
You got it. How you been, young
What's
man?
up, dude? How you doing, man?
Hey, I was looking at your pictures. You sure have a pretty head.
I don't know if I like that or not, Craig.
Oh, my God. What a compliment.
What's happening with you, dude?
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about this topic you got today.
Cool. Come on with it.
Well, as a club owner, you come across some just crazy stuff.
Thank you.
And we were having a live performance, as you know.
Okay.
And the artists come in the limo. His entourage comes in. We put him in the green room. Everything's going good. We see the entourage move out.
Okay.
But the artist is still in there, and a little girl is whisked in, about 14. So I thought, that's strange. So I told Ponytail, you remember Bobby Finch?
Yeah.
I said, keep an eye on that. Make sure nothing happens. All of a sudden, she comes storming out of it. And she says, he just molested me. So he came over and got me. And I said, we need to talk in the office, and I need to have somebody present with me because I got to question you.
Okay. So
she comes into the little cash room we have in the back there.
Right.
Where I used to give you all that money. So I set her down and I said, what happened? And Bobby was my witness. And she says, well, I went in there to tell him how much I enjoy him. And he started hugging me. And he put his hand down my pants and his finger in my vagina.
Okay.
And I said, was there anyone in there with you? She said, no. And I said, well, we have a real dilemma because this guy is an artist. He has credibility. Now, if you want to pursue this, I will call the police right now. But I can assure you, it's not going to end the way you want it. So, you know me, I always
right.
tell people that we're dissatisfied. Would you like a free Pepsi? Just take them back there. So Bobby and I sat there for a while and we talked to her. And I said, well, you know, this guy's a talent. He's got real credibility. What you may want to do is just go home and talk to your parents about it. Now, you know, I'll give you a free pass for the next performance, you know, so that everything's okay with us. And afterwards, I thought to myself, man, did I do the right thing?
Okay.
Because by this time, the artist was in the limo and gone. There was no fingerprint. There was no finger to swab or for DNA.
Right.
I don't even know if they had DNA.
Right.
So I just want to ask the car, what's happening? What is the proper thing for a club manager or a club owner to do when this instance happens?
Wow.
That's my question.
Yeah.
How do you cover how do you CYA?
Yeah. Obviously, you want to avoid liability in a case like that.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had a witness when I questioned her. I was very upset. I told her, sweetheart, listen, whenever you go into a room with these artists, you have a friend with you. You got to have a collaborating witness, because usually in the green room, he's got one or two of his security or entourage there.
Right.
And they're not going to testify to anything that he did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think?
Yeah, well, for this particular case, I think, first of all, you did very well to advise her to go home and talk to her parents about the incident that occurred. Because the parents actually have a duty under the law to report a crime against their child.
But don't I have a duty to report it as an individual?
As a business owner?
Because she was 14 years old.
Yeah, actually, you do not. There are certain adults that have a responsibility to report crimes against non-family members, people such as school teachers, hospital workers, medical staff, so on and so forth, have an absolute duty under the law. As a club owner, I don't think you don't necessarily have a legal duty unless there's some crime in progress that you need to react to prevent the crime. Right. Then you have a duty.
I don't know. Has that ever happened to you, Alonzo? That ever take place where somebody was... No, I know these little artists would take them out to the limo. Okay?
Right.
And once they leave my building, I mean, they never came screaming in that he raped me or anything. But I had one
crazier than that, Craig. I had one at the Eve After Dark. I had a Freak of the Week contest. Okay. Yeah. 3 girls came to the club. They said, we winning this $100. They're gonna win this $100. Okay.
We want to win the money.
They want the money. Okay. They came in. I got to tell this story. We're gonna go to the break. They go in. They come in. They come out in bikinis. And we talking about the early '80s. Okay. These 3 girls broke out their clothes in bikinis. Had the crowd going crazy. This one other chick, she wasn't all that fine. And I had my back turned. I had my back turned on the stage, and all of a sudden the crowd goes crazy. I turn around. She was stark naked. She was stark naked in the club. Eve After Dark, packed house. Ooh. She stark naked. I used to have a curtain, a sheet that I used to show movies on. So I snatched the sheet down, covered her up, ran her back in the room. What are you doing? I wanted to win the money. Them heifers, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you're the winner. Here's your $100.
Here's your $100. Wait. That was the problem, okay? That was the problem. So I said, she won the contest, go home, okay? 2 days later, she gets raped, okay?
Oh, my.
She gets raped 2 days later, okay? And the guys told the police officers that the girl got naked at the Eve After Dark on Saturday, and that's why they figured she was good to go. Okay.
Yeah, we had the same stuff. We had the same stuff when Two Live Crew exposed himself on stage.
Right. So
I had parents screaming and yelling at me. I must have give.
Come on.
6 people back their money that day.
So the sheriff calls me. I understand this. The sheriff calls me, Mr. Williams. I understand you run a teenage strip club. I'm like, oh, officer. No, and I explained to him what happened. Well, you paid the girl $100 to take her clothes off. I didn't pay her. I just gave her the money because she won the prize. And he's like, oh, man, I was this far from losing my doggone business license, okay? Yeah. And messing with kids, that's why I don't mess with kids no more, because
that was always my problem. We had minors in on these concerts, you know.
Right.
We didn't have age restriction.
Okay.
Because these kids needed some place to go on Friday and Saturday night.
Right. And we gave it to them.
And we had security up the yin yang, you know?
Right.
And they were tough.
Okay.
Good old days.
Thank you for the call. We said
thanks, Craig. How that hip coming, man?
Oh, it's killing me, man. My other one's going bad. I had to get an injection yesterday.
You're gonna be bionic in a minute, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
I hope you don't mind me calling.
Oh, please.
Thank you for the call. Thank you.
That's on the phone right now. We have the true owner of Skateland from straight out of Compton. That's Craig Schlesinger.
It is known as the birthplace of West Coast hip hop. You know that.
Is it?
I always said that.
Huh?
You might be the godfather or the grandfather. I don't know what the hell you are.
Godfather.
But it was the birthplace of West Coast hip hop.
All right, Craig. Much love, man. Take care of them hips, dude. Thanks for calling.
I'll keep an eye on you on Facebook.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we got to go to a break right quick. She give me all the break signs. I had to tell my story right quick. Go on, take us to a break. We'll be right back. You're live with Alonzo and Dakar, the hip-hop attorney. Morris Media Studios live, y'all. It's going down. It's going down. We're telling the truth. Keep trying to keep your ass out of jail. All right, y'all. We are back live at Morris Media Studios live with your boy, Alonzo, the world-class grandmaster, the crazy club owner from straight out of Compton, Jerry Curl and all, and the hip-hop attorney, my man, Dakar. What's up with you, Doc?
Man, I was going to talk briefly about a few cases that I have personal knowledge of that I've had the opportunity to work on, sex crimes that have been prosecuted here in Southern California. So a couple of years ago, I was working for another law firm. They had a case that was in the Inland Empire, and it was actually a date rape case. And it actually impinges on the social media topic, too. What you had here was you had a young man that met a young woman online. They traded a few emails, then traded phone numbers, started talking on the phone. He informed her he was going to have a party get-together at his house on the weekend. He invited her to come. Okay. She agreed to come. She brought a female friend with her. So her and her female friend get to his house, and he has friends there. There's a pool table in the garage. They're hanging out, playing pool, listening to music, and drinking. And everybody that was there, early, mid-20s. And what happened was her girlfriend was, she wasn't the only one, but her girlfriend had too many shots of tequila. Okay. And she got drunk in a short period of time. There was a guy at the party that was interested in her girlfriend. And, he started talking to her. And long story short, he ended up alone with her later that night, sitting on the front porch. They went, moved to the front porch, perhaps to talk or to get away from the group. And this is what was in the police reports. The girl said she recalled him trying to, undo her shirt and try to make a move on her. And she was resisting and told him no, but he kept going. And he then takes her out into the front yard, and somehow they end up in the driveway, which I'm assuming is next to the front yard. Okay. She told the police that he pushed her down to the ground, and she said that's all that she remembered. Now, at some time later, her girlfriend, the one who brought her to the party, the one who met the guy online that lived at the house, comes out of the garage looking for her, and she's on the ground in the driveway on her back.
Getting drove home.
And this guy is on top of her having sex. Now, this was the condition that her clothes were in. And you can tell me if this sounds like consensual sex. Because the guy who was on top of her, his position is that it was consensual. Her position and her friend's position was that she was passed out. But the condition she was in, she had one boot off, because she wore boots, one sock off, and one pants leg taken off. On the other side of her body, her boot, her sock, and pant leg was still on. And so he's on top of her having sex, and there's a few other people standing around watching that were at the party. But when her girlfriend comes out and sees it, and he notices her girlfriend is, just walked up, he jumps off of her, pulls up his pants, and goes into the house quickly. So she gets her girlfriend off the ground, help her get dressed, and left and took her to the hospital where she got tested, and a DNA match was found.
He got problems.
Yeah. This guy ended up getting convicted. He took a plea deal. which was probably, I wasn't there when he took the plea deal. I appeared in court on one occasion on the case. But like I said, this guy and this whole circumstance, it's a date rape situation. But that type of thing is actually very common.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the thing of when you're under the influence, at what point do you have to be drunk or high before you can no longer consent to sex?
Hold on 1 second there, man, because these days, smoking something and drinking something is common practice, okay? And some people react to alcohol and weed in different ways, okay? If there is a national standard that says you can't drink and smoke and have sex, that means you give everybody, you put every person that has sex under the influence of alcohol or weed, you put them in direct line for a case.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. The law doesn't say that you can't drink or smoke and have sex. What it is that, and obviously it's going to be a subjective test.
Is it like driving? You got to have a 0.1. If you got an 0.9, you can't get laid.
Yeah, I don't think they're applying any metrics like that at this point. I haven't heard of that, but think about it. How many people hang out with their spouse and drink and have sex?
Come on, man.
That would be rape every single time. But so the reality is, you can drink, you can smoke and have consensual sex, so long as, first of all, the person needs to be conscious that you're having sex with. If that person is passed out sleep and you proceed to have sex with them, that's rape.
If you put a mash down, she gonna pass out, and you gonna pass out right behind her. Okay?
No, I'm talking about during the course of sex.
Well, she might be. Well,
if the woman, if y'all are drinking and smoking and she falls asleep before y'all initiate sexual contact or before y'all begin to
that's a problem.
Have it, and then you proceed to have sex with her while she's passed out.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that's what that case felt like to me. And
what if she fall asleep? Why? Because maybe what if she fall? Well, if you put it down right, she ain't gonna fall asleep.
Yeah. She believed that she passed out due to the excessive shots of tequila that she had that night.
Okay, that's close. So I would give him. He had to go sit his ass down someplace.
Yeah.
But man, it's just I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying is totally correct. But it's like the law is so thirsty to lock people up. They just coming up with all kind of situations to create situations to even if you don't get the case, you got to spend the money to stay out of jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, let me ask: Have you seen? Somebody asked Judge Joe Brown from the Court TV show Judge Brown about the Bill Cosby scandal, and he replied to it. That video has been posted on YouTube. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. What did he say?
Well, in regard to Bill Cosby, he said basically, I'm paraphrasing that. And he said, I've been to the Playboy Mansion before. And he said what you had is that you had groupies coming to the Playboy Mansion to meet celebrities and hook up with them. So they came there to hook up with celebrities. And that's what it was with Bill Cosby. So why are you complaining now? Because that's what you came there for. You came there to party, to drink, to maybe do some drugs, and to hook up with celebrities. So you came there willingly wanting to do that, and then it happened, and here you are complaining about it 40 years later.
Well, it's like this right here. Has anybody ever raided the Playboy Club? I mean, the Playboy
I've never heard of it.
Think about it. Everybody knows that Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion has been doing what they've been doing for a long time, okay? But nobody's ever raided them because they know they do. I've never been there before, but I've heard. Okay, allegedly there has been some drug use, a lot of sex. Okay, in the grotto, whatever the case may be, and that just seems like something that if everybody's all high and mighty, should be the first target on the doggone list. But I guess maybe because Hugh Hefner hosts events for all the politicians and sports athletes and various people, hey, he's off limits. So, let
me say this. If you ever get a chance to check out the Judge Joe Brown video, you should. It's really funny. He actually said the direction that some people are trying to get the law to move in is like they want you to ask permission to have sex before you have sex. And then
sign this document.
Once you engage in sex, before you penetrate, say, are you sure it's okay?
Hey.
And then after you penetrate, you got to ask again, are you sure it's okay? And then when you're done, or are you okay with what we just did?
Hey, he said, on, dude. That's too much. That's too much.
That's
too much
the direction
business.
they're trying to move it in. And that's just ridiculous. But listen, people have seen you portrayed in a movie before, huh?
Yeah.
And the movie is actually a very popular movie.
Very good movie.
What is that movie?
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton. That debuted this summer.
Yes.
You were portrayed in the movie. I've seen the movie a couple of times. I remember the character that portrayed you. Those scenes were in the early parts of the movie where you had Dr. Dre, Yella, Eazy-E, Ren, and Ice Cube in a club called Dudo's.
Right.
Were you the owner of that club?
I ran Dudo's. I wasn't the owner.
Okay, you ran it. Okay, so, and you were the guy in the movie that, I
was a crazy club owner. And I'm still a crazy club owner. I don't have a Jerry curl no more.
Yeah, you were the guy with the Jerry curl telling Dr. Dre,
Yeah, I want to.
You need to work on the love songs and leave the rap
about
music alone.
Pussy, not pistols.
Right. Okay. I just want people to know that because not everyone has seen all the previous episodes. Sometimes people may see episode 6 and it may be the first episode they see. And then you have a book out that talks about the roots of West Coast hip hop.
Not without NWA, not without Alonzo, baby.
Absolutely. I'm still in the process of reading the book. I got to say the book is, and I'm not saying this because we're friends, but I got to admit, the book is, it's a little funnier than I thought it would be. It's a lot of, every single chapter there's funny stories that actually make you laugh out loud.
Well, you know what, man? I'm a firm believer that reality, you can't write some of the things that happen in your life. There's no writers don't have the creative ability to write the reality. And fact is much funnier than fiction, okay? Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Steve Harvey just yesterday, and he said that a good joke is 90% truth with 10% embellishment, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with a true story. A good story, you can't make this up, man. It's so damn crazy. When I tell people what I had to go through and what I've done over my lifetime, it's like, you did what? And I didn't know what I was doing. I just did what I had to do. Okay, and because I did it, this is what we got today. So yeah, it's a lot of funny stories in there, man.
It's a great book. The version of the book that's on the market now is just approximately 280 pages. It's a very easy read. You said when the first manuscript,
900 and some odd pages,
and you had to chop it down. So it started out being more than three times as long as it actually is.
Yes.
What about all those additional pages? Are you going to release a part 2? Sometime in the future.
Sometime in the future. Stories of the Grandmaster. Because I had stories, man, that are, I can only put a few of the stories in the book because of the printing limits or whatever. But because I poured my heart out to the lady who assisted me in writing the book, we definitely have another 2 books for sure. Just in the stories. Okay, I can just tell you tales of rolling with Dre, rolling with Cube. That's like, huh? You did what? Being at Eve After Dark. Yeah. It was like that place was a story every week. And even the movie Straight Outta Compton, as good as it was, you can't even get the tip of the iceberg of all the stories that were made up for the whole time. You almost have to do a HBO documentary, HBO show like The Wire or Sopranos to really get the whole, because you have about 10 seasons worth of good entertainment right there, because this story is that interesting. Even before I forget, I got to say rest in peace to my boy Roger. Yesterday was his birthday, Roger Clayton. He and I fought for 30 some odd years up until he died. We fought right up until he died, and it wasn't a physical fight. It was corporate espionage. I would find out how many posters he had. If he had 300 posters, I got 400. If he got 2,000 flyers, I got 3,000 flyers. If I knew he was going to hang on Wednesday, I'd hang on Tuesday. If I hang posters on Tuesday, I'd hang on Monday. If we was going to be at the convention,
he was your competition.
He was my competition,
right.
And we one-upped each other to the point where we gave birth to this whole thing, and that right there is a story untold that people don't understand. That we started off together and we had much love for each other, but we couldn't stand each other. Okay, we had two different philosophies. Okay, when it came to business, he wanted to be big dog, sports arena, whatever. I wanted to be consistent. Okay, I wanted to stay consistent, so I had my little club, only hold 300 people, but I was there I was there 8 times a month, making a nice piece of change where he would do promotions once every 2 or 3 weeks. So we had different philosophies, but it worked for us. And I missed the feud, man. I put it on Facebook just yesterday. I miss our feud because it was so much fun. And now that we old, there's nobody to talk to. I have nobody to talk to about. Back in the day when we did the sports arena, because we had two different situations. The only person that was really there is my boy Unknown, and he and I talk about the situation, but he was on my side, so he has a biased opinion. So Roger, him and his people, we still get along fine now, but back in the day, boy, it was like the Crips and the Bloods. Okay, we got to wrap up, folks. I want to thank my girl Felicia for allowing us to rock these studios today. Morris Media Studios Live. We do this every week, y'all, at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, 3 to 4. My man, the hip hop attorney, Dakar. See him. Tell him what you do, Doc.
I'm a criminal defense attorney. That's what I do for a living. 95% of what I do is criminal defense. But if you have a question about the law or a case, feel free to call me at 213-858-2698. If it's a criminal case, I may be able to help you directly. If it's a different type of case, I may be able to refer a good attorney to you. But feel free to call or text me at that number.
He's a hip-hop attorney. He's walking there with cornrows, quoting Tupac and Public Enemy. All right? So, and if a judge don't give him what he wants, he might even break dance. All right, y'all. Don't forget, check out my book, NWA, Not Without Alonzo, available at my website, LonzoWilliams.com. It's me, y'all. It's my website, LonzoWilliams.com. Or go to Amazon, CreateSpace, or it's on Kindle also. Only $14.95, folks. Much love. I'll see you next week, God willing. Felicia, thank you again, baby. In the meantime, folks, we out of here.
Peace.
Peace.